I have a question for Whitney. Steve mentioned that there are a lot of negative images of youth in the media. How can we bring about changes in the media?
It seems to me that we as a public have been asleep at the switch. We have not wanted to be involved in the media culture. It has been very, very passive on our part. I therefore think that if people as citizens will take this as part of civic involvement, we'll realize that it is a participatory democracy. And since we live in a media culture, have a role in your community. Also in terms of advocacy. I met the chair of the FCC who had an enormous issue that people were commenting on, asked to comment on, about children's educational programming. He'd only heard from 800 people across the country. So there is a role for advocacy, and there is a role, a very important role, for citizen education and involvement. For example, many, many general managers of television programs never hear from the public except that an irate caller calls up and sounds off and sort of pops off. What about letting them know our support for what is positive and what is creative and what is life-affirming? When decisions are made to air programming that we think inculcates the values that matter to us, let them hear from us. And that is not happening. The third thing I'd like to say is we do advocate that there be a youth media network, that form an advisory board to a local television station. They welcome it, and it brings the young people into the process. So the general answer to the question is not to remain passive any longer, because we've been passive for 5 decades now.